outside the business. So this is inside, so we are going to use inside. But now, this is to do with communicating with people outside the organization. Outside. So you are communicating with people outside the organization. In other words, you know about external. You are looking at you can sometimes communicating with the stakeholders outside. You also have got the stakeholders. The stakeholders. So when you are communicating externally, you are looking at, you can communicate with the customers, that's external. Customers get all, you can be communicating with complaints, those are external. Sending information about business to shareholders, that is external. Ordering goods from suppliers, when you are ordering goods from suppliers, that is external. Right? And or if you are sending press release about the latest product, you can send press release. That's the day my product latest product that sells through media. That is what's called external communication. Government agencies, oversight and regulations, you can communicate with government agencies, oversight and regulations, that is external. You are able to negotiate with trade unions, that is external. That is external. So you can see that in external, you are looking at now trying to communicate with the people around, suppliers, government, the environment, customers. That is external. While internal, local countries, managers, whosoever, that becomes internal. Then from there, now we look at types or forms of this communication. Although we are saying that communication, sometimes this business communication, you can be communicating within the internal circle, or you can be communicating again outside the circle. Then you can say that sometimes the way you communicate, the method you use to communicate a message is what is called communication media. So you have what is called communication media.
So now we're looking at the communication method.
Yeah, methods. So communication methods now, we are looking at now communication methods. And this is what's called communication media. Communication media. Apart from looking at these two, internal communication, external communication, internal, how you pass information within yourself as the manager and your employees, that's internal. But external, when you are communicating with people out there, that then they are saying that how do you communicate? You use what is called communicating media, and that is the method. Communicating media now. That's a method of communication. Now let's define what is the communication media. By definition, communication media is a method used to communicate messages. It's a method used to communicate messages. That's what's called communication media. Communication media is a method that is used to communicate messages. So there are several types of communication media. So this You can communicate through letters. You can communicate through fax. Through SMS or messages. Text messages. Using phone. You can communicate using what is called leaflets. You can communicate using what is called video conferencing. Video conferencing. You can use what's called the video conferencing. And again, sometimes you can communicate using what is called face-to-face conversation. The name is called face-to-face conversation. All these, whether you are communicating or you can communicate through phones. Nowadays, you can use phones. All these methods of communication depends on the purpose of your communication. It depends on the purpose. All these three depend on the purpose of communication. Depends on the purpose of communication. So you can communicate through letters, fax, messages, etc. Many more, etc. But now that depends on the purpose of the communication. So whichever purpose, you can do that. For example, you as the manager, if a manager would like to give a final warning to a worker about maybe not doing well or what, you can use letters. You can write it, he or she can write letters. So you want that. If you have to communicate to your suppliers, the suppliers to give you products, to give you raw materials, you can communicate through phones. Right? Face to face, if you are, as a manager, you want to communicate to your workers to do a particular type of work, you use what is called face to face. You can use face to face type of communication. So when you are communicating, you have to know this communication medium. So you can use letters. Most times, especially, letters are very common. So you can communicate through letters. You can communicate fast, messages, leaflets. Leaflets in the sense that sometimes you have brochures, you have business brochures, so you can send your brochures and you can be able to communicate. That are the school, like you use video conferencing. Skype, you can use video conferencing, Skype, you can use whatsoever, using what? Those video conferencing. Face-to-face, phone, etc. Now, having known the definition of communication, we have known the definition of communication. That communication, we can't talk about communication without talking about messages being sent, a sender and the receiver of the messages. And at the same time, once the messages have been sent, they have to be encoded. Once they are encoded, the message has to come back. That's the feedback. And then out of that, we have seen that sometimes this communication has to be effective communication. And we have looked at the effective communication. That for it to be very, very effective, there must be at least someone to interpret, able to show positive. And then we have seen that communication is very important in working place, because we would like our workers to be aware of what has to be done. That's why we say that the importance of communication. And at the same time, it gives the room to instructions given. So we have looked at that. There are two types of instructions that can be given, and that is internal and external. Internal, people inside, they are able to do the work. They are able to communicate within the business setup. So the managers with the workers, that is what is called internal communication. And sometimes there can be external communication, where you have to communicate to the environment around. They have to understand, to know exactly what you are doing. That's what is called external communication. And from the external communication, data owner, but you cannot communicate by kind of communication media. And one of these communication media, we have of course defined what is communication media. That is just the method used to send messages, that you communicate the messages. So you do communicate by letters. So these are some of the communication media. Then we want to look at now effective communication and its importance. Now let's go to effective communication and its importance. Effective communication and its importance. Communication and its importance. Effective communication and its importance. Communication between two or more people or groups of people will only be effective if the following holds. If we say that this communication is very, very, very effective, it means two or more people or a group of people will have the following characteristics. So let's look at characteristics to show that this message, the communication is effective. So there are the following are the characteristics. Lord, this communication is effective. One, the message is sent using correct communication media. The moment the message is sent using the correct communication media, that is what is called effective communication. One, message is sent using correct communication media. Message is sent using the correct communication media. The moment it's something like that, just know that's effective communication. If you send the message using the correct communication media, just know that is effective communication. Assuming, for example, and then you use the radio. That's it. You go to Baba area and you say, okay, news but right for I think we just that if we really interest to people the way Zodia that's not like that, right? Then I would special announcement. This is the work for company that's not a good, it's not a communication method, it's not an effective communication method. Right? You have to use the right one. If you don't do like that, you have to embarrass the person, right? So it's not good that you put yourself on the children. Or balance board. Balance board, these guys are the ones that have failed the exams. That's it, right? That's it.
For my dad, for example, could encourage people. They should work hard. Next time they shouldn't be on the face.
It encourages what?
It encourages students. Could the next time they shouldn't be on the face.
Yeah. If you are putting them on the it depends. It depends how you can do it. It depends. That's what I'm saying. You have to follow. If you know that it is very effective, you take it. If you know that it is very, very effective, you take it. Babasi, Mama Town, Damino. If you know that is effective communication to you, that's it and take it. Right? And another issue is the message is sent to and received by the right person. That is the so if the message is sent to and received by the right person, that means that is an effective communication. So, the message is sent to and received by the right person. By the right person. Which means that is effective communication. What's the happening? I would just say, Baba, I just say, Java in a mind will take a down and you say, that's not effective communication. Then I thought I'm not necessarily what you are. That is effective communication. You can't start, or Chilo, I'm again, the way that I'm going to win, more than so that's not true. I thought it's not when you were home. That's right. Message should be sent to and received by the right person. If such is the case, then that is an effective communication. Another criteria, whereas if it is ineffective communication, the receiver should be able to understand the message. So the receiver understands the message. Receiver. If the receiver understands the message, then it means that is effective communication. So that is the receiver should be able to understand. Because the other messages, they can be given, you can be given the message, but you can't understand what they are trying to say. Sometimes you wonder, what do you mean? What do you mean? If you are not able to understand, you are attacking me from where? You haven't given me a warning. You haven't told me. What do you mean? I don't understand what you are giving me. It means that is not effective communication. You should be someone should be able to follow this step. You should be able to follow. You follow the step. I swear it. But we need to also very much. I swear it. So you should be able to follow each and everything. And when they say, okay, you say, yes, I think it was they have been telling me. That is the receiver has understood. You should be able to understand why is it that doing something like this. Right? We will say like just because they are grudges between you and the manager, right? But you are grudges into internal grudges. So that's not the basic communication. Yeah, that's a constructive idea. And another, for communication to be very effective, the receiver provides feedback. They must give feedback to the sender to confirm that the receiver has understood the message. So this element of what feedback is. Feedback. The moment it is an element of feedback, so there must be that feedback provided by the receiver. You have to send, and the feedback is given. That is effective communication. I have noticed that there are other companies, they advertise. We want people to apply for this job, right? You find you apply, zero suppose to you are not qualified. Yes, that's effective communication. There's a person when you apply to write you back. Mr. Benson, you wrote that you wanted this way. But looking at your credentials, what you have put in your letter, you are not qualified. Therefore, we have left you behind.
But even if they don't reply, it's another kind of communication.
Sometimes you have put those folks. Assuming you have put MSE, it is assuming you have an MSE. And then, whenever you have put a friendship, right? And when you have the MSE, money there, this is where. You know, sometimes you can come back, you ban four folks. We are going to why they should be able to say, The problem is, nowadays, when they're employing, they know they take someone already who is a relative. After the time when she was relative, right? The background. That's the problem. They should be able to say, all right, if they cannot beat you, if they are advertised, they should come again, familiar. We have okay. We have shortlisted those who wanted. So that is really true. We have another Yavana. So there must be feedback. Without the feedback is a problem. If in as well, we know who put a bunch who put here so yeah. They want to see the who plan is good. My friend where do I see?
That's a message. That's for probation. You don't want to get the
give me feedback. As well my neighbor and then I think my dad. You must know now the gas be.
For 2 weeks, I'm going to do it.
So that's the feedback is very important. Therefore, there must be message, receiver, feedback, receiver, and two. So there must be that. So actually, this issue on the feedback is very, very important. Right. Let's finish off with this issue of what are the benefits that can come when you have effective communication. Where are there effective communication? What are the benefits that you can get from that? Effective communication brings a number of benefits in business. And what are these things? What are these benefits? Now, see that. Now let's go back to that. Now let's go back to what are the benefits, effective communication benefits to business. Effective communication benefits. Business. Tumalize nzimeza tupaimele ngeti nzima. My son go about that. And next week is Senate meeting. Next week. That's why so I actually said can we come and go on? I'm going to the zone of the right here, the effective communication brings a number of benefits to business, and one is reducing the risk of mistakes. That's number one. Reducing reducing the risk of mistakes. Reducing the risk of mistakes. Right? Yeah. One, reducing the risk of mistakes. Receiver, in that one now, we talk about reducing we talk about reducing the risk of mistakes. A receiver, when you examine a receiver of the message, should be able to understand someone who is you have to understand what is being asked by the sender. You should be able to understand. But if you can't understand, there will be a lot of these problems that will happen. So you should be able to understand what it is if maybe you have been asked by the sender. But if the message is not understood, it's going to bring a lot of confusion. Therefore, mistakes will come. That's why the message that I have to say has to be clear and straightforward. It has to be clear and straightforward. So I'm going to have to do. So it's very much to say. But all I am not going to do my food. Yeah, my is it. So we have to avoid that one. That's why you need to actually have the most effective communication. Go to the point straight. You go to the point straight. Shield and put your a call straight on the
yeah, one of the ones straight.
Yeah? You know, they're not, just straight. They're not straight. I don't know how I try to bring them in straight. So what I will do this time around is going to be very different. This time around, very different. I will bring you the idea of questions. I will give you the questions. You have to discuss. But in the exam, I want you to write an essay. That's what I will need. I can give you the questions. This is the question. Question number 1. Can you explain about effective communication? You know to discuss with your friends. Come on, one sentence, and you ask me to give you 4 marks. So on. Right? You have to give me, like if I ask you something about communication, you should be able to define it for communication. And you should put a word about the messages, sender, receiver, right? I told you communication, they must be this, they have to be understood and that, communication media and that. And you should be able to say something, and when you're asking to mark, that should be able to give you the mark. So, effective communication, it plays a very good benefit in reducing the risk of mistakes. 2, the second is enabling fast decision making. This what? Enabling fast decision making. Benefit. In other words, that benefit of fast decision making. Fast decision making. Talk about fast decision making. Where there is effective communication, you are able to say, okay, I'll do this. Okay, then let me do this. That's because of effective communication. You have got that fast way of doing decision making. You are not slow. You are not slow. The third one, quick response to market changes. Quick response to market changes. Quick response to market changes. That's why there is effective communication. Effective communication. I feel that the more you know, you are changing direction. You are having now, you respond quickly, and at the same time, you are adapting to changes. That's what we call the quick response to market changes. Number 4, you improve coordination between departments. Improves coordination between departments. Improves coordination between departments. Where there is effective communication. They are able to communicate in the way now. It improves coordination because of communication. Another one, it improves morale and motivation of the workforce. It improves morale. Improves morale and motivation of the workforce. Motivation of the workforce. customer relations. Customer relations. It improves customer relations. When we meet, we look at benefits and limitations of communication methods. There are two types of communication methods. We look at the oral communication method, about 3, 4, 5. We look at the oral communication. We look at the written communication. We are going to look at electronic communication, visual communication. I think those are the types of communication we will look at when we meet. So when we meet, we are going to look at oral communication. We will look at written communication. We will look at visual communication and electronic communication, and then the visual communication. That's what we will look at when we meet. Can we now time? And then we can go. This is 12 o'clock. I have written there 1 hour. Super. Well,
Thank you.